want to first start off with the global sentiment, and in contrast the Indian sentiment in terms of the consumption appetite, which of course sets the tone for business. So tell us about what is your observation on the global sentiment compared to the Indian sentiment.
Ashish, welcome to the stall. Welcome to Gestamp.
Thank you for having me.
So, welcome back, shall I say.
And pleasure to see you after so many years.
Yes. Just to give you a brief overview of where we see India market today versus globally. I think it's true globally at the moment we see some real pockets of growth globally in the BEV segments. And obviously we see a little bit of stagnation and wait and see approach from other regions. When it comes to India though, we are pretty much full steam ahead now on BEV technology. And we see our clients shifting towards that technology at a faster pace than what we first envisaged. Some great examples of that are at the motor show this year. And obviously we're very proud to partner with some of those clients on those launches. And for India, as we now approach to being the third largest passenger vehicle manufacturing segment now, we see some really good, stable footprints of growth going forward, and we're very much akin to our customers' needs going forward as well.
Please, if you would like to add something.
Yes, I see it in the same way as I said. I'm coming from Europe, but there we have a stagnation of the volumes, more or less. But in the region here in India, there's a big growth, and we have big opportunities there also for our performance and our innovations.
How does it align with your 2050 strategy for attaining carbon neutrality?
Well, as you know, all of us are looking towards carbon neutrality, and obviously our Scope 1, Scope 2 initiatives are very much well underway. We're very much on track for achieving that by 2030, 2035 for Scope 1, Scope 2. And obviously everything we do today is going towards sustainability for the future. I think the government's approach in India is fantastic with Make in India. We're seeing a lot of our upstream suppliers now bringing more capacities to the region, which has been sadly lacking. You know, when a market is not stable and has a lot of fluctuation, then our upstream investors, obviously in this case raw material suppliers, they're very nervous to invest because it's heavy investment. But finally we're seeing some grassroots of that now. So by 2026 we'll have an additional upstream process in India, which is great for Gestamp and great for the end user and the customers. And obviously we continue to work very closely with everybody, our supplier partners, our clients and our upstream suppliers as well.
Your India journey has been phenomenal. You all have been present in the market since 2006, about 3 odd plants in Pune alone, then you have a plant in a separate plant again. So tell us about how long have you come in this journey from entering a new market to perhaps being a leading player in the market now when it comes to highly engineered advanced metals?
I think you've summed it up. We've been here a long time. We're not a new player to the market. We've been here since 2006. We have, as you say, 3 facilities currently in India, and obviously we were the first to bring the hot stamping technology to India as well. We were a global leader in the hot stamping technology footprints, and obviously that's one of our keys to our success. We're very much an interactive organisation. You know, we've got 13 R&D centres working tirelessly around the clock. So for India, we have a lot of support systems in place to support our clients' needs, because it's a fast-changing market. It's a very, very fast-changing market. Somebody said to me only yesterday, the fashion industry used to be seasonal. Now it seems to be every 2 weeks there's a new concept of fashion coming to the market. Is India going that direction? No. But are we picking up the pace of changing vehicles and bringing fresh vehicles to the market? Absolutely. You've seen it in the Auto Expo. You know, there's a lot of new launches this year. There's a lot of launches in the pipeline for the future years as well. So we have to be adaptive and we have to be agile. And that's one of our key strengths in Gestamp. In fact, we're very agile.
As someone who's been in the market for nearly 2 decades now, do you feel the policy roadmap for the auto industry is perhaps a little more clearer than it was at the beginning of your journey?
I think the policy roadmap post-COVID is much more clear. You know, as COVID's taught us a lot as a country and obviously on a global footprint.
Absolutely.
Personal mobility is becoming more and more prevalent. And obviously that's a key to our success here in India now. The government took that approach to Make in India and obviously gave the PLI initiatives to the OEMs as well, to try and help them further invest. You couple that with Bharat NCAP and GNCAP now being pretty much aligned, And what we're making in India today is of a quality level that can be exported globally.
Right.
And again, testament to the footprints of the government's initiatives. Yes, there's a long way to go, and we understand that it's going to be a journey, not a sprint. But it's grassroots that grow our success in the region. The government's approach has been fantastic up until this point, and obviously we're all working hard to make sure that we make India a success story.
Right. A lot of the stress comes back to zero emission mobility. How are you aligning with that strategy? Because you've always focused on the material that is perhaps having the right ratios of strength, at the same time a lower carbon footprint. How do you align with specific requirements of the green mobility segment? Again, within green mobility, battery electric vehicles.
Well, I think Ralph can answer on the chassis side.
Yeah, we try always to use newest material, new technologies, also for the development and our components. And yes, for the future we see green steels as a solution, which is now stepping into the market, but there's at the moment no cost competitive when you take that into account now, but in the future it will be, and it will grow in the next couple of years, so that will be used in our component also. And I think this will help to have a green footprint also for our components.
Right. Are the pressures on the operating margins as a result of the fluctuations over the last 5 years in raw material commodity pricing in general? How do you look at commodity pricing and as a result operating margins shaping out for the company? The engineering is directly linked to your procurement of raw material.
Yeah, and as we've just been talking about, the upstream process suppliers are now bringing the capacity to India,
right,
which previously was imported.
Right.
So obviously geopolitical tensions around the globe we've seen post-COVID.
Yes.
COVID was one example, then post-COVID we have a number of geopolitical tensions going on at the moment.
Right.
It's about de-risking that strategy going forward. And having the confidence in the market is allowing our upstream process providers to bring that material to India. So obviously that's de-risking us, and that's obviously changing the carbon footprint as well. If
right.
we're not bringing material, say, from Europe to India, or from China or Japan to India, obviously we're reducing the carbon footprint naturally that way. And ultimately we're also reducing the cost. So although the materials are becoming more and more exotic in terms of high tension materials, we're still maintaining the cost competitive advantage.
Right.
Yeah? So the end consumer is seeing some fluctuations, but not as bigger fluctuations if we're still going to be importing from next year.
Right. In terms of the pure technology play, what are you bringing in India? You have teased the Gestamp stamping series, you've teased the Hypertube. Tell us, what does this translate to the end finished product in the Indian market?
So we can, for example, when we are talking about Hypertubes, this is an opportunity to reduce weight in hydroform tubes. For example, when we have a customer who is developing with us together, we can see if the concept fits to the vehicle and to the local market, and we can then improve the components here based on the customers we have here.
Right.
We have also solutions for front subframe, for example, when the customer is not clear if he wants to go fully on an electric vehicle platform, or he wants to do something in between ICE and battery electric vehicle, that we then support them to come up with concept who can take both. Yeah? For example, for a rear subframe where you have a base frame with components which can take the ICE engine and also the battery electric engine to save costs. Because you can if you have a common concept, you can save tooling costs or assembly costs in that way. So this is our strategy with the customers, not
right.
only in India, also globally. There are uncertainties regarding platforms, and we have experience with customers also worldwide to these solutions.
Right. Are you seeing a greater reception from the Indian OEMs when it comes to more superior shop floor mechanisms now? There's a lot more automation, there's a lot more IoT at deployment. So does that ensure your material is the hot stamping and cold stamping processes are replaced in the manner desired by you when you look at India as a hub for global manufacturing? Do you feel that again increases your prospects?
I think if you look at Gestamp global footprint, we're very much akin to every manufacturing plant, and we've got more than 150
yes.
plants globally.
Yes.
We're all very much the same.
Right.
Our technology is the same in every plant. There's no reduction in technology in Gestamp India
right.
as opposed to Gestamp North America or Gestamp Europe. or Gestamp Asia Pacific.
Right.
So our technology footprints remain common.
Right.
So we don't have a lower technology for India. So since 2006, we've always invested in technology.
Right.
We continue to invest in technology, and obviously you will see the Gigastamping technology today.
Right.
And obviously that's in direct feedback from our clients. Well, they want to reduce their investments in their facility as well.
Right.
So the Gigastamping brings us a solution, as a solution provider, the latest technology for them, which automatically reduces their investment footprint as well.
Right. In contrast to your shop floor efficiencies being stable and perhaps standardized all across your 115 odd manufacturing locations, OEMs, the vehicle OEMs themselves seem to have now realized that they need to have a superior manufacturing setup as well, which is driven by perhaps IoT 4.0. As you are the main suppliers to the vehicle manufacturers. What difference has it made in terms of the reception from OEMs?
Well, I think we're all in this together.
Right.
We're a supplier community working.
It's the ecosystem that is driving the change.
The ecosystem is driving the change. We're all in this together.
Right.
And Gestamp is no different to anybody else.
Right.
We're driving Industry 4.0 globally, including India.
Right.
When we see the benefits of Industry 4.0, we see the efficiency improvements that Industry 4.0 brings to Gestamp.
Right.
Our clients are seeing that as well. So they can see our Industry 4.0 being a driver for them to also invest in the technology as well.
Right.
And we're seeing that today in the India homegrown OEMs are adopting that technology
exactly.
very quickly.
Right. A word on replacing multiple components and having those long format components that are being talked about increasingly. You are providing that. Tell us a little about the evolution of that range. Long format components where multiple sub-assemblies are perhaps now engineered as one large component.
You mean Giga?
Yes.
I think that is going to be easier to be explained at the...
Right, but can you just briefly touch upon...
Yeah, we can. If we take the dooring concept which we're showing today, traditionally you will have at least eight sub-assemblies per vehicle set. Today we're eliminating that to 2.
Right.
So you can automatically envision a scenario where before you had 8 components going into the vehicle, 8 boxes, 8 assembly processes.
Right.
At the OEM side,
all of that is integrated
all that now is integrated into one module.
Right.
So you've got one for left-hand side, you've got one for right-hand side. So your footprint, your investment, your manpower, your number of robots, all that automatically reduces for the OEM.
Right.
So their carbon footprint automatically reduces as well.
Right.
At the same time for Gestamp, we're taking away 8 steps and just streamlining that to 2 steps.
Right.
So again, for us, we're automatically then reducing our carbon footprint as well. So it's a win-win. And that's the ecosystem we have between Gestamp as a supplier and our clients today here in India.
Right. As we near the end of this fiscal, how do you look back at this fiscal? Was it a flattish fiscal for you, or personally, for the company, from the company's perspective, you had realized the objectives that you set out for?
I think specifically for India, obviously we had the elections last year, and we always know the
Q1 and Q2 were subdued. Yes.
So we always knew that Q1, Q2 with the elections would always be a relatively flat period. But ultimately in India, we're still positive about India, we're still positive about the growth in India.
Right.
And obviously everybody's still seeing the vision of 2030, where we should be somewhere around 7 million vehicles.
Okay.
That's testament to the way that the government have set the strategy. The PLI scheme seems to be working.
Right.
And obviously it's giving the confidence to the OEMs to further invest in the latest technology for India.
Right.
And making India export to the world is clearly a vision that everybody's working towards.
Right. Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for sparing the time.
Thank you very much.
Lovely chatting as always. Yeah.
We're going to take